This is Max Williams with United Real Estate, and today I'm in Chesterfield County. Today I am in a new home subdivision. As you can probably see, we've got a lot of construction going on right now in various stages, and I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the considerations of buying what we call resale versus new construction. Resale is simply a home that someone has lived in previously. There are some big differences between new construction and resale. One of the first things that we talk about is the financing, because it all starts with the money. Fortunately, the financing is pretty similar if we were talking about new construction with some builders. And when I say some builders, there are different types of builders. The builders here are what we call production builders, and they will pretty much finish a home on their dime, or if you are building a home from the ground up, they will pay for that process and bring it to completion, and then you just simply have regular financing just like you would for any home. If you are dealing with a smaller builder or a builder that doesn't have the financial means or the desire to finance their own project, you will get what we call a construction perm loan. Perm for the word permanent, and that basically means that you are going to finance the construction, and they are basically going to pay as the project progresses, and then those individuals or companies that need to get paid as the progress moves forward. So a couple of considerations there. The terms of traditional financing is very good compared to construction perm. They're going to want a bigger down payment. It's really more so for someone that's got a little bit more financial stability or means than versus our normal first-time buyer that's going in with 3.5% or potentially no money down. We do that on a regular basis. So that's one of the big differences between the types of financing that we have in place. This builder will have homes that are already completed, and by buying a home that's already completed, you don't have to worry about the time lag or going through the process of designing your home. They basically have done that for you. One of the considerations, of course, is price. There is definitely a premium that is obtained for a new home. So they charge more money, which is understandable for what we call new construction versus resale. However, it's important to remember that real estate is not like vehicles. So the older a home is does not mean that it goes down in value. Actually, quite the contrary. If you think about price per square foot, here in Richmond, some of the most expensive homes are some of the oldest. And I'm thinking primarily in an area called the Fan in Richmond, a historic district. The homes are often built around the turn of the century or prior, and they command substantially more money than most new construction homes in this area. So one of the things that I like to talk about with my potential buyers is kind of what their needs are. What's the motivation for new construction? A lot of times they'll say, hey Max, I've got a budget of $180,000 and I want to buy new construction. And unfortunately, we don't really see builders doing a lot of homes in that price range. It just doesn't work for their numbers. Every now and then we'll see what we call a scattered site home, where a builder will put a small home, or a small investor will build a small home, and it'll come in at that price point. But a production builder isn't really set up to do homes in that price range. They're typically going to be starting at a higher price than that. One of the other things that sometimes buyers will consider is they want a new home because they think it's going to be in better condition. And that's not necessarily true. You could have a home that's 80 years old, but all new systems. And systems is what's most important in a home. If you have new heating and air, new roof, new plumbing, all of those things that typically can break and cost a lot of money, that's where your maintenance costs come in. It doesn't necessarily mean that a new home is going to be that much cheaper to maintain than a home that has new systems that the home itself may be decades old. So just some things to keep in mind. It's really neat to see how throughout the block here they've got homes at different stages, and they will come in and with them being a production builder, they'll knock them out in no time, and before you know it, this community will be complete and they'll be moving on to the next one. If you are interested in new construction, it's important to make sure that you speak with someone that's in the business. A lot of times people will get excited, they'll go to a new home community, they'll see what's available, they'll fall in love with the model, and then the next thing you know, they're sitting down writing a contract. It's important to be methodical in your process, because making decisions without professional input is not a good idea. I, as a buyer's agent, am going to see life a little bit differently than someone that sells homes, that works for a builder. They, of course, are experts in their product, but they work for the builder, and they are looking at it from getting those homes sold. That is what they do. That's what they're paid to do. When I'm representing a buyer, I'm paid to make sure they're getting the best deal, making sure they're protected, making sure they understand all of the ins and outs of the process that they should. And you've heard me say before, you definitely want to be educated in the process, because you don't know what you don't know. And that's my job, is to make sure that you do know all of the things that come into play. I'll give you a quick example. When it's time to pick out options and upgrades, a lot of times buyers can pick out upgrades that aren't necessarily going to add value. Okay, there's some things that you'll pick out that won't add a dime of value, and others could be very valuable when it comes to resale. These homes, while it is a place to live, it is also the biggest investment typically of your life. So you want to make sure you're smart with that investment and spend your money wisely on upgrades and options that truly will give you the return when it comes time to sell. We're always looking, always thinking about resale. We never know exactly when resale might come. It could be just a few years. You could stay in the house for 20 plus years, but that resale value is definitely critical. All right, if you have any questions about the process of buying new construction or questions about resale, I am here to help. I hope this has been helpful to illustrate some of the differences. This is by no means a complete explanation of the differences, just some things that I wanted to touch on to consider. Max Williams, 804-402-7788. I can reach you on Facebook under Richmond Area Foreclosures, on YouTube under my name, Max Williams Realtor. If you or anyone you know is interested in buying or selling, it would be my honor to help. Thanks so much for taking this little walk with me. Y'all be safe. Have a great day.